This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Victim in Olympic Way double murder had escaped 2 prior attempts on his life. Police have identified the 2 men shot dead in Olympic Way, St. Andrew on Thursday morning as more details emerge about the killings. The men were identified as Wayne Smith, 45, a Tyler from First Street, and Marlon Maduri, a 41-year-old Mason from Bell Rock, both in Kingston 11. They were killed about 9:50 a.m. when they were pounced upon by gunmen. Residents of the area told the news that the gunmen went for Smith, but Maduri was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. According to the residents, a close relative of Smith was suspected to be behind the killing of a man from a nearby community last year and fled the area. Unable to find the relative, gunmen attacked Smith in the community last year, but he escaped and also fled the area. The residents say late last year, Smith was attacked again on Headley Avenue, St. Andrew, where he was seen by gunmen and shot in the leg but managed to escape. He had not been seen in the area again until he was spotted Thursday morning when he was killed. Police say they are following several leads as they probe the double murder. Education Minister condemns the killing of 9-year-old boy and a 15-year-old girl. Minister of Education and Youth Favour Williams has condemned the frequent attacks on children as a manifestation of the worst kind of evil in the society. In expressing her distress at the Thursday, January 13 kidnapping and killing of 9-year-old Gabriel King in the Fairfield, Irwin area of St. James, Williams said the frequency of violent attacks on women and children across the society is highly disturbing. I cannot imagine what could motivate anyone to carry out such a dastardly act on such a young life. This is pure, unadulterated evil. The police report that about 9 a.m. on Thursday, a woman and her son were attacked by 2 men as she slowed her car to avoid a pothole along a section of the Irwin Main Road. The men allegedly forced the woman from the vehicle and took off in the car with the little boy still inside. A subsequent search by the police led to the discovery of the vehicle and the child in the back seat with his throat slashed. Officers from the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, who made an initial contact with the family Thursday, are now to follow up with the parents on Friday, January 14, 2022 to facilitate psychosocial support. Minister Williams also noted the gun attack on a resident in Roehampton, Anchovy, St. James about 2:30 Wednesday, January 12, in which 15-year-old Tonian Reed was murdered along with a 25-year-old man, O'Shane Spence, who lived there. Initial reports indicate that the teen had a troubled relationship with her parents and had left home on more than one occasion without permission. Williams appealed for families to reach out to CPFSA and the National Parenting Support Commission for help when facing challenges with their children. I am extending condolences to the families, and I'm also appealing to anyone who may have any information that can help the police in their investigations to share this as quickly as possible, Williams said. Businessman robbed at Juicy Patties in Bog Walk. The police in St. Catherine have launched a manhunt for gunmen who robbed a businessman on the compound of Juicy Patties in Bog Walk in broad daylight on Thursday. It is reported that about 11:30 a.m., the businessman had just left a financial institution and went to the popular eatery. As he was about to exit from his SUV, he was reportedly pounced upon by 2 armed men on a motorcycle. They assaulted him and relieved him of an undetermined sum of money. A policeman ran from inside a food store and engaged the robbers in a shootout, but they escaped. Police investigators subsequently visited the premises to comb the scene for forensic and ballistic evidence. The area was cordoned off and dozens of customers turned away. Indecom awaiting ballistics report in dog paw killing. The Independent Commission of Investigations, Indecom, is awaiting the ballistics report for the weapons of the police who were involved in the fatal shooting of reputed gangster Christopher Dogpaw Linton last October. Linton, 35, was shot during an alleged confrontation with the police in Elletson Flats, St. Andrew on October 11. A Colt .45 pistol was reportedly recovered from the scene. Checks made by the news revealed that the commission has conducted interviews and collected statements from all police personnel involved in the incident. Their weapons have been submitted for testing to the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine. Our processes included the collection and boxing of firearms of the concerned officers, the collection of initial accounts from the security force, requisition for written statements to be submitted pursuant to Section 21 of the Independent Commission of Investigations Act, and the collection of the aforementioned statements, Indecom Commissioner Hugh Faulkner said. The reputed gangster, who had been in prison since 2013, was freed by the Court of Appeal. In 2013, Linton and Michael Allen were found guilty of gun charges and were each sentenced to 15 years in prison for illegal possession of a firearm and 15 years for shooting with intent. Linton and Allen were accused of shooting at two policemen traveling in a service vehicle along Tavern Drive, St. Andrew, in April 2010. The men had denied the allegations at their trial. St. Elizabeth coming under COVID siege. Mounting coronavirus infections are worrying health sector administrators in St. Elizabeth, but lower than average hospitalizations have given support to Western officials amid a wider bed crisis nationally. Parish manager for the St. Elizabeth Health Department, Sean Brissett, believes that the spike is linked to the highly transmissible Omicron variant. On January 1, there were 32 persons in quarantine or isolation at home, Brissett said, but that number has ballooned to 625. Of that number, 382 are confirmed infections, while 243 are contact to confirm cases. Brissett disclosed that health workers at the primary care facilities have had to be reassigned to monitor the cases. There are more than 700 healthcare workers manning the Black River Hospital and health centers across the parish. Primary care is currently under siege because as members of staff, they have to be assigned to monitoring these patients, Brissett told the news on Thursday. We are also monitoring the contacts of these confirmed cases to make sure that we can cauterize the spread. Although we are at community spread, we have to do what we have to do to make sure that it eases the burden of what is happening in the society, he said. Meanwhile, 15 healthcare workers across the parish have tested positive for COVID-19. Brissett noted, however, that this has not impacted operations at the Black River Hospital since the number of patients requiring hospitalization was relatively low. Black River Hospital has 4 confirmed infections and 1 suspected case, said Brissett. I think the fact that we have such a low occupancy level in the hospital or COVID patients requiring hospitalization is due to the fact that the virus is not affecting people as seriously as in the past. We're not getting people who are that sick, said Brissett, attributing the trend to the Omicron variant, which scientists say is more contagious than Delta, but less likely to cause severe illness. Review of salaries for rank-and-file police officers to begin in April. A review of salaries paid to rank-and-file members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force is scheduled to begin in April this year. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark made the disclosure in the House of Representatives on Thursday. Dr. Clark also reacted cautiously to the legal action taken against the government by the Police Federation, noting that a dignified silence is the preferred approach. The Police Federation filed a lawsuit in 2019 against the Ministries of Finance and National Security, the Attorney General, and the Police Commissioner, complaining that its members have been working more than 40 hours per week without being paid. The Federation argued that this was in breach of the 2008 Heads of Agreement.
Out of respect for the courts, I'll not speak to that matter at this time. It is a matter with some history that predates me as minister, that predates this administration. However, as I've done in the past since I was brought into this matter last September, a dignified silence is the preferred approach.
Jamaican woman gets 15 years in prison for trying to kill man she married for U.S. citizenship. A Jamaican woman was sentenced on Thursday to 15 years in prison for trying to kill the 74-year-old American man she married in a ploy to get a U.S. citizenship. Olivia Ramo, 30, a resident of Westchester County in New York, admitted that she pushed her husband and wedged him between his toilet and the wall on January 24, 2020, then slit his wrist with a straight razor. Ramo then barred the door to the man's apartment when his home health care aide heard his screams and tried to go to his aid. The aide called police, who rushed the man to a hospital where he underwent 2 operations but lost the function in his hand. The prosecutor said the attack came after Ramo and the man met with a lawyer who told them that they would have a hard time convincing federal immigration officials that their scam marriage was legitimate. The district attorney's office said the couple married in 2017 in a bid to have Ramo become a U.S. citizen. She pleaded guilty to attempted murder in the case in November. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.